you kind of have to pick what's best for your family. And I don't want to judge people, so I don't want people judging me. And if I do find that somebody is judging me, I take the comment and I move on. I'm going to keep doing what's best for my family, whether it be, thankfully, nobody says anything about the way my children eat, but whether it be the way they're eating or their screen time. Or my daughter was in daycare for most of her life until recently, and there was a lot of debate about that. But I have to do, and you have to do what's best for your family.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another brand new episode of the What the Nell podcast, the Ecopreneur's Edge edition, with my wonderful co-host, Mikey Vance. And Mikey has... obviously, Mikey will want to introduce himself, but I will also allow Mikey to introduce us to his amazing guest that we have today. And we are talking about challenges with sustainability and advice for parents and what we kind of run into in our sustainability journeys. So first, Mikey, welcome back to the podcast.
Hi, Nell, and everyone listening. As always, it's a pleasure and an honor to be here on the Ecopreneur's Edge. For those who don't know me, I'm Mikey with two E's, and the two E's stand for the environment and everyone, the two things that I care about most. And I am here today with my lovely friend, and I was just realizing that we have known each other for 20 years now.
What?
But of course, we're only 25 years old, so we met when we met when we were babies. But no, this is my esteemed guest and friend, Coley Klinepeter. And Coley, I invited Coley here because she has two amazing children. She has a spouse and a house and a whole life and a career. And just has done so many amazing things. But also, we've been able to chat through our friendship about some of the challenges that have come up. And I think that on the Ecopreneur's Edge, we usually talk about, high-level sustainability crises and things coming down the pike from the future. But we don't always talk about the things day-to-day people struggle with. And I thought Coley was just going to be a refreshing voice to enhance that conversation. So Coley, hi, how are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am good. Mikey kind of laid it out. I am, first and foremost, I am a mother. My children are my whole world. They keep me very busy and active, and you might see them pop on camera because I'm talking and they want to say hi. But that is, I feel like as soon as I had one of my children, I was born to be a mother. I am one of those moms. I enjoy being with my children. I love every moment with them. It is challenging for sure. I just made a huge career move. I was a center director at a childcare facility and found for my well-being and my mental health and my family's well-being that my best choice for right now was to be a stay-at-home. So that was a huge change. I actually just started last week to give up what I've worked my whole life toward to be here and be present for my family. And I'm not one that struggles with mental health. I'm very blessed that I'm not. I have a good mental health journey. I always have, but I found that this job was really affecting my mental health and spiraling into how I was as a wife and mother. And I'm very lucky that my husband is able to provide for our family and I'm able to be home. And this past week has felt like a dream. It is also very challenging. I am busier now than I was when I was working, which is crazy, but that is kind of my career journey. And my health journey really, really started after I had my first son. I've always worked out pretty much since high school, just not necessarily yes, for the health benefits, but also for the mental health benefits. And that could be why my mental health is so strong. That is kind of my escape, especially now as a mother of two. That is my 30 minutes a day where nothing else matters. My brain shuts off and I can just focus. So that is I've been on this health journey for a very long time, but really started strong after I had my first son. I am not one of those people who are glowing and beautiful when pregnant. I gain a lot of weight. I balloon up, and that's fine. I still love having children, but I really struggled after having my son with my body image and really, really focused on my health and well-being and eating clean, working out. Doesn't mean I'm perfect by any means, but that is one of the main reasons I did that. And now I'm finding the benefits of that and keeping up with my two children. So that is kind of why I focus so much on my health. Yes, for myself, my mental health, but also to be able to chase them around the house and get up and down 30,000 times a day and not be completely wiped out at the end of the day, because I am able to meet their physical needs because I keep myself as strong as I can.
It's amazing. I love hearing your story, Coley, and that's a huge change and so fresh too. So thank you for sharing that. You mentioned something in there that strikes me that I think is one of the biggest challenges with sustainability. And you mentioned eating clean and being as healthy as you can, but you're not perfect by any means. And none of us are. And I think that one of the biggest challenges that at least I come across is people think that when you are quote unquote pushing sustainability and eco-friendly and eating clean and all these things, that when you find yourself having a moment where you might be eating a cheeseburger from McDonald's, that people automatically just come at you and say, oh, but you tout being clean and healthy all the time and you're eating this burger? Oh my gosh. And it's like, yeah, I'm not perfect. We're not pushing perfection. We're pushing for change and 90% of the time or 85% of the time being clean and sustainable. Mm-hmm. So I want to know how you guys feel about that. You know, when you are promoting this or doing this and people see you doing it and someone says to you, oh, I thought you only eat organic, things like that. Like, how does that make you feel? Or do you experience that?
I'm kind of lucky. I have a small circle, and Mikey and I have talked about this so many times. I surround myself with people that lift me up. Now, I'm sure in my head, maybe, okay, I'm sitting here, I'm a chicken nugget girly, so I'm sitting here eating my chicken nuggets. If people let them think what they think, but I have learned that if you deprive yourself all of the time, that's when, like, maybe the binging and a cheat meal turns into a cheat day. You have to allow yourself to have those things that really fulfill you. I was just talking to Mikey the other day. I had a really good day, ate healthy all day, but I didn't eat enough. So that night I had a salad, and then I had some Skittles, and then I had some cheese curls, and it was okay. I reset the next day. Like, we're human. You're allowed to have those things that you crave and you enjoy, but resetting and starting over and realizing you don't need to ruin the rest of the week just because you had those things that you like. That's kind of where my mindset is. And that's where I've learned that. I used to maybe do cheat days, and that's where you would spiral. And then, okay, well, I cheated today, so I'm going to cheat tomorrow. And we'll just reset next Monday. No, you just reset the next day or the next meal even. Maybe I had a lot for breakfast. I went and got my Dunkin' Donuts, and that was a lot of calories. So the rest of the day, I'm going to try to keep it minimized. You just kind of have to learn it's okay to be human. And we should have those things that we crave, because if not, we're going to deprive. And that's when, for me, that's when the binging will go. Like, I'm just going to have a whole day where I eat everything I want because I'm depriving myself of these things. I don't deprive myself. I just have them in small portions, or I'll have like a bite of my child's cupcake instead of, here, I'll give you a cupcake and I'll eat the whole cup. Or I know she's not going to eat the whole cupcake, so I'll just treat myself to the rest of the cupcake. Right. Those kinds of things, just being creative and not depriving myself is the big thing.
Love that.
So I want to interject here because I know that there was a recent article published. I can't remember the publishing company or the media who published it, but there's a lot of talk right now about how parents talk to other parents and how parents will go to social media, to Facebook groups or to TikTok, and they will basically get told what to do with their children all the time. Now, with what you said, Coley, do you find that you have other parents in your life who are okay with, cheat meals or cheat days and then resetting, or is there a lot of judgment in the parental community for that?
Again, I don't have a very big circle, so I don't get a lot of judgment, but I definitely see it on social media. And, you kind of see how those other people react. Even maybe it's somebody who's famous or somebody you just see in a mom's group. I think it's all about how you react and how you handle it. And for me, I'm doing my very best and doing what I think is best for my children. For example, screen time is a huge debate in our society, and my children probably do more than they should. And I've researched it, but my son is thriving in school. So you kind of have to pick what's best for your family. And I don't want to judge people, so I don't want people judging me. And if I do find that somebody is judging me, I take the comment and I move on. I'm going to keep doing what's best for my family, whether it be thankfully nobody says anything about the way my children eat, but whether it be the way they're eating or their screen time, or my daughter was in daycare for most of her life until recently, and there's a lot of debate about that, but I have to do and you have to do what's best for your family. So at that time, that was best for my family, and she flourished in that environment, and now she's flourishing with me at home. So I'm going to do what I think is best and what I've seen my children thrive under. If somebody else's opinion is different, maybe that's what's best for them.
I knew you were going to have an amazing answer for that. And I really just wanted to bring it to the forefront of the conversation, because there are so many different ways to do everything now here on the Ecopreneur's Edge. We just try to give everyone the best advice that we possibly can with the tools we have available to us right now. And, even though we're pushing for change, like Nell said, we're not pushing for perfection, but it is good to start the conversation. So, what I'm interpreting is we can all be a little bit better today than who we were yesterday, but none of us have to be perfect.
Exactly.
But I do kind of want to pivot because of your big career change, or your lifestyle change, if you will, not even a career change. Can you give us an example of a challenge in sustainability and health before you became a stay-at-home mom versus in the last week? What has your biggest challenge shifted to?
So my biggest challenge before was time. I'm a meal prep person. So another reason that was really difficult is weekends. There's only 2 days. And my job, I had to commute. So my commute in total was an hour and 30 minutes a day, 45 minutes there, 45 minutes home. So I'd be getting home at 5 or 6 at night. Obviously, I feed my kids, first, and they're my priority, which that might differ from person to person. And then my good workout time was when they were in bed. So I'm working out at like 8 o'clock at night, and then I'm finally eating. That was really difficult. And I would find I was so hungry. We're not sure if it's okay to eat at night or not, as long as you're in a calorie deficit, whatever. Now the biggest change for me is I have time. I was able to cook dinner yesterday and prep dinner at 12 o'clock rather than prepping my meals for the whole week on Sunday. And it was also really difficult as a mother. One day of the weekend, we would do something fun as a family, and then the next day of the weekend was laundry, meal prepping, cleaning. It was quite exhausting. And on top of that, working 40 to 50 hours a week. I also was a manager. So I'm managing a group of 25 to 30 people, which is mentally exhausting. In the mornings, combating call-offs and trying to figure out the day and not even leaving the house and already being stressed about my work day. So now I get time to focus on eating at good times. I'm eating 3 solid meals a day and snacking in between, instead of even with the job that I had. Some days I wasn't eating lunch until 3 o'clock. So just my eating habits in general were extremely unhealthy. And I knew that, but I'm also a person who, when I am stressed out and overwhelmed, I will shut down and I won't eat, because my body just that's just how I react. So I'm one of those, not that this is going to happen again, but when I had a breakup, I would lose a ton of weight because that's just how my body responds. And that also is the same in my work environment. When I'm very stressed out, eating is not my priority and I can't even stomach it. So the change now is that I can really focus on my health mentally, physically, and be also very healthy for my children. I'm waking up, I'm doing a workout before my day even starts, which really all those endorphins are absolutely wonderful. And then I'm starting my day just I feel like super mom, superwoman. And then it's just a really nice way to start the day. It's physically for me. I was actually thinking about this podcast. We had a pool party over the weekend it was a family reunion, and my daughter, fearless, 2 years old, jumping in the pool. Thank God she had her swimmers on. Yeah, Mikey's heard so many stories about my daughter. The fact that I'm able to sit in that pool for, I was probably 2 to 3 hours, and catch her in my arms over and over and over. I was able to lift her above my head so that she could shoot hoops in the basketball hoop with the big kids. I wouldn't be able to do that if I wasn't living this type of life. I checked, me and Mikey have Apple Watches. We're tracked to each other. I did 90 minutes of working out that day, which is a lot for me just because I was so active chasing my kids around in the pool. And I was thinking, if I didn't live this way and take this time to be healthy, and my workouts, they're 20 to 30 minutes, but they're keeping me strong enough to keep up with my children, be able to lift my 30-pound daughter above my head. It's just such a nice change this past week to be able to focus, yes, on my children, but also on myself as well, instead of 25 other people that I need to focus on. So now I'm focusing on me, my children and my husband when I do see him. So it's nice to just be able to have that mindset shift that I can take care of my family. And that doesn't work for everybody, and that's fine, but it's something I've really wanted, and it's so nice to.
I'm gonna pass it over to you here in a second now, but that whole story reminded me of something we have coached you again and again on the Ecopreneur's Edge. And I know that we have talked in an episode about the Wheel of Life, and how I have said in multiple episodes that physical health, maintaining the sustainability of our physical health, is the only part on the Wheel of Life that infiltrates every other part. If you have good physical health, you're going to have good mental health. You're going to have good emotional health, spiritual health, career health, relationship health, whether that's with your family or your spouse. So thank you, Coley, for reiterating something without even knowing that we coached to that. But Nell, let me pass it over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. You strike me, Coley, as somebody that is like constantly, just on a good path, trying to be the best that you can be for your kids and for yourself and for your entire family. And when you mention time, I think that's really amazing, because when people think, I think generally of sustainability, they think about products and they think about food or electric, things like that. But they rarely think about how time and physical health is also part of sustainability. But I want to know, so with children, and I don't have any kids, so I'm not well versed in this realm whatsoever. But I would love to know what your biggest sustainability challenge is with your children. Is it clean eating, or is it just incorporating different products in your daily life? What is your biggest sustainability challenge in the parenting and your life with children?
I think just because things change constantly is knowing, even with products, we try to be clean in our house as much as possible when it comes to like soaps and things like that. Knowing what truly is the clean product that we should be using. Is this what's best for my child? Is it okay if, we use regular laundry detergent? Is it really going to, things like, because it does constantly change. That was something I was very much into, ironically, before I had children, was using a lot of clean products, and I've kind of left that to the wayside and more focusing on other things. But it is scary not knowing truly what these things I'm using in my household, the things that I'm eating, are truly doing to my body, because we do have research, but we don't truly know in the long run. And I do want what's best for my children. And I think too, financially, those things are more expensive, unfortunately, which they shouldn't be, but they are. That is a struggle too. Now that I'm very lucky that my husband is able to provide for us, and we've had this conversation 1,000 times, but for me, in my mind, now when I'm spending money, it's almost like, and he does not want me to feel this way, so please don't think I'm bashing him, but like now I need to be more conscious about what I'm buying, because I'm not earning the money, and that's kind of my mindset, and he totally doesn't care. I can buy whatever, but we need to be more financially conscious. Even when I was working, just everything is so expensive, and just knowing what is best. And like I said, things change every day. And my field was that way too. I worked in education, things change every day there, and just always questioning, is this what's best for my children? Is this what's best for me and my family? Is it really going to hurt us that much? Do I want to care now because I'm not seeing the effects? That's kind of a mental shift too.
I do want to interject there, because that's a huge point that a lot of people, I'm sure, struggle with on a day in and day out basis. And my best advice to anyone who's ever brought that problem to me is, we should feel confident in a couple of things. So there's maybe 2 or 3 products in our home, whether it's a shampoo and conditioner, or a cleaning product, or skincare, or toys. There's usually something that we're certain that is going to be good for us. And yes, it might be a little bit more expensive, but if it's only 3 or 4 things that we're buying consistently, that shows the large corporations what we want to spend our money on. So yes, even if it's not 100% of the things that we know that are truly going to be good for our homes and ourselves, those are the things that we should just purchase all the time, because we vote with our dollar, and that tells people, supply and demand, we want more of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Coley, I would love to know, what are your non-negotiables as far as clean products go in your household?
Laundry definitely is it touches our skin all the time. So that's a big one for me. And I think too, like any type of anything on my skin. So soaps, shampoos, definitely. And Mikey's been a huge help with me there because I get my product from him and he does my hair. So it's nice to know that the salon I go to, even I was able to get my hair done when I was pregnant, which was really nice, and not be scared because he's one of my best friends. So I know he would never do anything to harm me or my baby. So hair probably and laundry are big ones for me just because it's constantly touching. Even like I have a dog, so I don't want to put anything on my floors that would harm his little puppy paws, even though he's a big old man. Those are big ones for us.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. And yeah, I mean I resonate, with the financial aspect of it. I left a cushy C-suite job to go full time with our business, and when I did, I essentially cut our income in half because, I wasn't bringing in a full-time income when I first started doing this. And one non-negotiable for me was food and buying food from local farms and organic products when I can. And that stuff is more expensive. And I had to really think about that. So there were other sacrifices that we had to make in order to be able to continue that journey of sustainability. Mikey, I'm curious too. What are your non-negotiables in your household? I don't think we've ever talked about that.
I don't know that we have, but like I have done so much work in setting my life up to be like as sustainable as possible. So I try to do everything in like a closed loop. So I will buy like almost all my food is organic.
Mm-hmm.
If it isn't, some version of other label that makes me feel just as safe as organic. And then I built a compost pile during COVID. So any of my food scraps go out there, which then in turn feeds my garden so I can grow my own organic food. I'm a huge fan and advocate of reusable grocery bags. I know that like for a long time I forgot them.
Oh,
And
yes.
I would get my big plastic bag, that filled with other plastic bags.
That's one of my biggest sustainability challenges is remembering the reusable bag.
I am in such a good place with that. It's been probably 3 years. Like I literally haven't forgotten my reusable grocery bag. So that's a new non-negotiable for me.
Good.
And then, like, obviously, I'm a hairdresser and I own a salon. So I'm always knowing what I'm putting in and on my body, whether it's product or food, is a non-negotiable for me. I will say we've done an episode on cleaning products, I think in season 1.
Yeah.
And there are many, many great cleaning products that will clean and sanitize, but in a lot of places in my salon, I need disinfection and sterilization. So there are things that will disinfect and sterilize that I cannot find organically. Like when you get into those higher levels of public health and safety, like, and especially in a hospital, if I walked in and smelled rosemary or thyme oil, I would be thrilled, but I would wonder if my surgery was going to go okay. So there's just a level of like human consciousness that we need to keep in mind when we're talking about sustainability. We have come so far in modern medicine that I don't want us to go backwards just to use, an organic sanitizer versus a non-organic disinfectant. I would rather my surgery room be sterilized than sanitized.
I would agree with that. Oh gosh. Coley, here's one thing that I wonder, and this is Mikey too for you. What are your biggest pet peeves with sustainability? Like what is one thing that would actually maybe help you reconsider or keep you from a sustainability journey?
Go ahead, Coley.
I'm trying to think. You go, and I'll piggyback.
Okay, so like I am a creature of certainty. My human need is consistency. So when I get frustrated because the product, especially post-COVID with supply chain shakeups, when the product isn't available to me, and I know that this is such a first world problem, but if it throws off my routine, it throws off everything. So making sure, and that's why I try so hard and have for almost 15 years to be sustainable, to be organic, to be clean and mindful about that. Because the more I put into that consistency, the more those products are going to be available to me. So for me, I don't have kids as well. That's why I love hearing Coley's journey all the time. She does a great job reminding me why I don't want children. But also, she fills my heart with all the beautiful stories of her family. But so without even that challenge, I can afford organic, thankfully. But when the stuff isn't there, I'm like, all right, time to go to McDonald's.
That is a very frustrating point. Yes. Thank you for pointing that out, because that is definitely, for me, it's when a product doesn't work as well as a conventional product. And then I get frustrated because I'm like, oh, now I have to learn how to live with this because I refuse to go back to that conventional product. So I just need it to work within the expectations now that I set for it.
That's a good point, Nell.
I don't know if this is a pet peeve for me, but one thing I really struggle with and still is scent. So like when I started really going clean, especially when it came to like laundry, or I don't wear perfume anymore because that was actually giving me a headache and now I know why. But the one thing I really struggled with laundry was I love the smell, and the smell isn't clean. It just makes you think it is. So missing, like you kind of already pointed out, having something that doesn't work the same. And for me, it was the smells. I really like burning candles and having plugins in my house, but now we know those are they're not good for you at all. So they have definitely come out with better things in the last, like Mikey said, like 15 years. But that was a big struggle for me in the beginning, was knowing that those smells are actually not clean and they're harmful, and finding creative ways to still have those types of things in my house and making sure we still all smell good and the house smells good. And when you walk in, it's refreshing. Because that's, I think, one of the first things I notice about a place is the smell. So I want my house and home and my body to smell good too. So that was a big shift for me.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And we're all so accustomed. I mean, Bath and Body Works in the 90s, like, changed the game. Yeah. I mean, I was a Juniper Breeze girly. So, we would lather, and they had lotions and shower gels and body sprays and all of the things, and now candles. And we just like doused ourselves in endocrine disruptors. Like that's the way it was. And we got so used to everything smelling so good all the time that it just seemed like it wasn't possible if you were using a clean product. Fortunately, I've been able to train myself into now knowing what clean actually smells like. So now it smells better to me than the fake scents and things like that.
Can I be a little vulnerable here?
Absolutely.
So I didn't even realize until we were talking about fragrance and scents and everything that my favorite scent of all time, maybe my second, because I have a hair salon line that I love. But my favorite non-salon scent is going to be, I think it was sweet pea and lilac. And it comes in Suave 99-cent body gel. And I would never, ever, ever put that on my body again. But like every once in a while, like in a CVS, I will literally have to just like open it and like
get your fix.
And then I'll close it and I'll put it away and I'm like, dang, I wish this didn't exist. But wow, that scent is one that I certainly miss.
Oh my gosh, Maggie, it brings back memories to like the herbal essences. Because I would do that too. I loved herbal. My mother-in-law gave me like she just gives me random like toiletries and things sometimes for Christmas, and she gave me a bottle of herbal essences one year. And I no lie, I still have it in my linen closet, but I don't use it. I literally just open it every once in a while and smell it.
I haven't done that in a long time, so it's crazy that we even jostled that memory in me. But like, that is a scent that I could have lived in forever.
That's amazing. Coley, what was your favorite scent?
I was a cucumber melon or love spell at Victoria's Secret.
Still
love them. So now we're all gonna leave and go get our fix after this.
That's what we do here.
So, second vulnerable quick story here. I was at a house party while I was in high school, probably partaking in recreational activities that I shouldn't have, to the point where I fell asleep and, for lack of a better term, like expunged the insides of my stomach via my mouth. my friend the next morning was like, "Oh my God, you smell horrible," and doused me in Love Spell. And so all I could smell was like last night mixed with Love Spell. And to this day, I'm so thankful they don't make that anymore because I cannot do Love Spell. I love it for you, Coley, but I cannot be around that smell.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing how scent really triggers memories. And I think it really is one of the biggest things that, when we associate certain memories and moments in our life, one of the first things we think of is a scent that we associate with it. And a lot like a taste, too. I was actually just talking to a friend of mine this weekend about how the taste or thought of the smell of cooking something reminds me of when my father-in-law passed away. Because at that very moment was when I found out when I was cooking this, it was actually spaghetti carbonara, and I haven't eaten it since. And it's amazing how scent does that to us. And I think that's a really, it's a way for a lot of big corporations and big pharma to weasel their way in to endocrine disruptors and things like that to harm us, honestly, is through scent. I mean, it's just, and because it's known, it's a known fact. Studies have shown that scent is that's one of our biggest senses, obviously.
And since this conversation did get brought up, I just want to remind people that it is very important to know what is going into the products that we are using in our home, on our bodies, and in our bodies, because fragrance is not regulated by the United States. So if you see parfum, scent, fragrance as an ingredient, the companies are not required to disclose. Some people will put formaldehyde. Some people will put fossil fuels, like just weird things. So just be very mindful when it comes to these fragrances that are triggering all of these memories for us. Support companies that are going to stay true to their ethics and standards.
That's a great PSA. For nearing the end of this episode. So, Coley, I would love to know final thoughts, anything about challenges and sustainability on your end that you would love for people to leave with?
I think for me, just never give up. I keep saying over and over, I am not perfect. I indulge, I make mistakes. There are days where I don't want to get up and do what I need to do, but it's just important consistency. They say, habits take a long time to form. And once that is part of your daily routine and daily expectations, not doing it is going to hurt you more than actually doing it. One of my favorite quotes I've ever seen is, "You're never going to regret doing a workout," or, you're never going to regret eating a good meal. And that's just don't ever give up. And for me, my big focus on it is for my mental health, that it is a huge mental health booster to eat clean and live a sustainable life and keep active. So just keep at it. And it's just truly best for yourself. And it has definitely helped me for the past 7 years as a person, as a mother, as a wife. And it's just what's best for me. And keeping it up and sticking to it is the best advice I can give.
Amazing. I love that. Mikey, final thoughts for you?
I'm just so proud to have known Coley for the last 20 years and see the growth in both of our lives. And I'm so excited to know Coley for the next 20 years and the next and the next, and to see where we can go from here to then.
Oh my gosh. Agreed. You guys, you make me want to do an episode on sustainability and friendship.
We could do that. Because we definitely have been through it together.
Oh,
so many things.
Save the date. Save the date. We don't have a date yet, but save it, you guys who are listening and watching. We're gonna do a friendship sustainability. I can't wait. Can we do a double episode on that one?
We'll have to.
Deal.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Coley, congratulations on your new journey. And I wish you all the best. I know it's going to be the best, and you're going to love most moments of it. And Mikey, thank you as always for being an amazing co-host on this series. And we have so much more to bring for you guys. So all of you listening out there, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, like us, leave a review. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like the channel or subscribe to the channel, like the video, share this video with someone else, because undoubtedly you know someone that needs to hear this message too. And just thank you so much for being here. And as always, I will catch you on the next one.